You know, we're completely surrounded by elements from the periodic table. But most of the time, we only think about the famous ones, right? Gold, oxygen, carbon. Well, today, we're going to hunt for the hidden ones, the unsung heroes that secretly power pretty much everything in our world, every single day. I mean, really think about it. Your smartphone, your car, even something as complex as a fighter jet. We see the finished product, of course, but have you ever really stopped to wonder what's actually inside? What are the fundamental building blocks that make them work the way they do? Well, today we're going to pull that curtain back. We're going to meet 20 of these incredible hidden heroes of the periodic table. Specifically, we're looking at the elements from number 21, scandium, all the way up to number 40, zirconium. These are the elements working tirelessly behind the scenes.
Make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to the channel. And after watching this one, don't forget to check out the first part of this series. All right, let's get into the video.
So let's kick things off with a group I like to call the titans of industry. I mean, these are the heavy lifters, right? The elements that give so much of our world its raw strength and durability.
And what's so cool is how they all kind of work together like a team. You've got titanium, which gives us this unbelievable strength without all the weight. Then there's vanadium, which is like a personal trainer for steel, just making it way tougher. Chromium is the shiny shield that stops rust in its tracks. And of course, iron, the absolute backbone of modern construction. Titanium is just a wild example of how versatile these elements are. Yeah, we think of it in high-tech stuff like jets and medical implants, and that's true. But did you know it's also used to make paint, paper, and even your toothpaste bright white? Seriously, it's everywhere. Okay, so the real magic of vanadium is what it does when you add it to other metals. You mix just a tiny bit of it into steel, and it creates these microscopic, super hard particles that basically lock everything in place. That's how you get alloys strong enough for heavy-duty tools or car parts that just cannot fail. Ever wonder why your kitchen sink or your forks don't get all rusty? You can thank chromium for that. Its name comes from the Greek word for color, but its real superpower is creating this invisible, self-healing shield that gives stainless steel that classic shine and makes it so durable. Now, while these industrial titans feel super modern, our journey with metals is ancient. I mean, to put it all in perspective, a distant relative of these guys, copper, was first used by humans way, way back in 9000 BCE. It just shows you how long we've been on this journey of figuring this stuff out.
But these elements tell us more than just a story about materials. They also tell a story about places. The periodic table isn't just some boring chart of physics. It's actually a map of human discovery.
I mean, check this out. It's like a grand tour of Europe right here on the table. You've got scandium for Scandinavia. Gallium comes from Gallia, which is the old Latin name for France. Germanium, well, that one's easy, Germany. Strontium is named after a tiny village in Scotland called Strontian. And get this, yttrium is named for Ytterby, Sweden, a little village that has given its name to 4 different elements. How cool is that?
It really makes you see the periodic table in a whole new light. It's not just a tool for scientists, it's a storybook of human curiosity, with chapters being written all over the world, often honoring the very places where these breakthroughs happened.
Okay, but not all the names come from places or obvious properties. Some of them are rooted in mythology, folklore, and even just pure frustration. It's time to meet the tricksters of the table. So take cobalt. For centuries, miners in Germany kept finding this ore that was just a nightmare to work with. They couldn't get what they wanted out of it, so they blamed mischievous underground goblins, or kobolds, for cursing the rock. And you know what? The name stuck. We have an essential element named after a mythical goblin. And it's a really similar story with nickel. Miners would find this ore that looked exactly like valuable copper ore. But when they tried to smelt it, nothing. They got so frustrated they called it Kupfernickel, which literally means devil's copper. That name eventually got shortened, and now we have another element basically named out of annoyance. And you know, the naming origins can just swing from one extreme to the complete opposite. On one hand, you have bromine, from the Greek word bromos, which just means stench. Pretty straightforward. But then on the other hand, you have krypton, from the Greek kryptos, meaning the hidden one, because it was so unbelievably hard to find and isolate. All right, let's bring it back to the 21st century. We've met the strong ones, the well-traveled ones, and the mythical ones. Now let's talk about the elements that are literally lighting up our world and making all of our favorite gadgets possible. Just think about the screen you're looking at right this second. It's a total team effort. First up, yttrium is used to make the special powders, the phosphors that create the red light in LEDs. Then you've got gallium, a key ingredient in the semiconductors that are the brains of your phone. And finally, germanium is essential for the fiber optic cables that are probably delivering this to your screen right now. And this chart gives you a really cool snapshot of where all these elements end up. Just look at that biggest slice. A whopping 40% goes into making semiconductors, the tiny brains inside all of our electronics. The next biggest piece, 25%, goes into those super strong alloys we talked about. Then you've got batteries and lighting. This chart is basically a picture of the engine that runs our modern world. So, let's do a quick recap of the amazing personalities we've met today. We had the titans, like titanium and iron, that build our world with pure strength. We had the patriots, like gallium and scandium, that put their homelands on the scientific map. There were the tricksters, like cobalt and nickel, hiding in plain sight with their mythical names. And, of course, the technologists, powering our future one gadget at a time. When you really think about it, these 20 elements, and that's just a small fraction of the whole periodic table, have completely shaped the world we live in. It really leaves you with a fascinating question, doesn't it? As we keep discovering and learning about new elements, what incredible things are we going to build next?